Welcome to our Sunday Satsang. This is a reading from Whispers from Eternity, Invocations to the Manifestation of God in the Temples of Great Lives, my Guru. Thou light of my life, thou camest to spread wisdom's glow over the path of my soul. Centuries of darkness dissolve before the shafts of thy luminous help. As a naughty baby, I cried for my Mother Divine, and she came to me as my Guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar. At that meeting, O my Guru, a spark flew from thee, and the faggots of my God-craving, gathered through incarnation, smoldered and blazed into bliss. All my questions have been answered with thy flaming golden touch. Eternal, ever-present satisfaction has come to me through thy glory. My Guru, thou voice of God, I found thee in response to my soul cries. Slumbers of sorrow are gone, and I am awake in bliss. If all the gods are displeased, yet thou art pleased, I am safe in the fortress of thy pleasure. And if all the gods protect me behind the parapets of their blessings, yet I receive not thy benedictions, I am an orphan, left to pine spiritually in the ruins of thy displeasure. O Guru, thou didst bring me out of the bottomless pit of darkness into the paradise of peace. Our souls met after years of waiting. They trembled with an omnipresent thrill. We met here because we had met before. Together we will fly to his shores, where we will smash our planes of finitude forever and vanish into infinite life. I bow to thee as a spoken voice of silent God. I bow to thee as the divine door which leads to the temple of salvation. I bow to thee, to thy master, Lahiri Mahasaya, harbinger of yoga in Benares, and I lay the flowers of my devotion at the feet of Babaji, our supreme master. And this is a reading from Autobiography of a Yogi. From the chapter Materializing a Golden Palace. I remember my voice was half choked with joyous sobs. You are my Guru Babaji, who has belonged to me always. Scenes of the past arise vividly in my mind. Here in this cave I spent many years of my last incarnation. As ineffable recollections overwhelmed me, I tearfully embraced my master's feet. For more than 3 decades, I have waited for you here. I waited for you to return to me. Babaji's voice rang with celestial love. You slipped away and vanished into the tumultuous waves of the life beyond death. The magic wand of your karma touched you, and you were gone. Though you lost sight of me, never did I lose sight of you. I pursued you over the luminescent astral sea, where the glorious angels sail. Through gloom and storm, upheaval and light, I followed you, like a mother bird guarding her young. As you lived out your human term of womb life and emerged a baby, my eye was ever on you. When you covered your tiny form in the lotus posture under the Nadia sands in your childhood, I was invisibly present, patiently, month after month, year after year. I have watched over you, waiting for this perfect day. Now you are with me. Lo, here is your cave, beloved of yore. I have kept it ever clean and ready for you. Here is your hollowed asana blanket, where you daily sat to fill your expanding heart with God. Behold there your bowl, from which you often drank the nectar prepared by me. See how I have kept the brass cup brightly polished, that you might drink again therefrom. My own, do you understand? My Guru, what can I say? I murmur brokenly. Where has one ever heard of such deathless love? I gaze long and ecstatically on my eternal treasure, my Guru in life and death. such a beautiful example of the Guru and his disciple, the love through all of the ages, through all of eternity. From the moment Lahiri Mahasaya became a spark out of that infinite place, God beyond creation, from that moment the Guru was with him. And this story personifies this for us. We tend to look at these stories and read them and think, oh, well, Lahiri Mahasaya, of course, a golden palace. Where's my golden palace? Babaji meeting him in the Himalayas and having all of the instruments of his sadhana waiting for him so he could resume his meditation. We think, well, that's dramatic. That's Lahiri Mahasaya. But the reason why Master wrote these stories, and the reason why these gurus in the autobiography of a yogi have come back to tell us, is that each one of us has that moment when we became a disciple of our Guru. We have that moment when we came out of God, got caught in delusion for many incarnations, but the moment we did, there was the Guru. It was a contract made in God that the Guru would then guide us through all of the incarnations, all of the incarnations, all of the suffering, all of the happiness, all of the attachment, all of the desires. It was a contract the Guru made, never leaving our side. It's so beautiful to think in this incarnation, the moment when we became a true disciple. It's a very precious moment, and it's really the true birth. Because once we are aware of the Guru, he can start helping us in a very profound and magnetic way. Once we start doing what the Guru tells us to do, he can work through the techniques, the satsang, our lives, our service. He can work through us so that we will be like him someday. Not for him. Not for him. He doesn't want to be the Guru. He has a deep, unconditional, bottomless love for each one of us. And he will not end his job until we are free ourselves. And so through all of the incarnations, that story, I just love reading that in the autobiography of a yogi. Lahiri Mahasaya, through all of it, through when the karma caught you for incarnations, when you were a baby in the sand, when you were unaware of my presence, I was there. I was there, always helping you. But in this incarnation, we realize, wow, I have a Guru. That's the most precious moment in our life. In the beginning of the spiritual life, the Guru gives us lots of gifts. Maybe dreams, maybe you can see the spiritual eye, maybe you feel the energy in the spine, maybe you have wonderful blessings that come into your life, maybe none of it. But in the beginning, you get the right books to read, the guidance, the people come into your lives, the deeper meditations. And that Swamiji explained to us was actually to hook us onto the spiritual path. That bliss, that happiness in the beginning, that's meant to, okay, this is pretty good. I think I'll follow this path. This is a true path. And so the Guru gives you these gifts, kind of gives them out to you when he sees you faltering. He'll let you, feel a little bliss or maybe a little love or maybe whatever. But then there comes a time in the spiritual life of all of us, of all the great saints and each one of us, where there just doesn't seem to be the Guru around. Where'd the blessings go? Where'd the spiritual eye go? Where'd the energy go? Where'd the love go? And you start getting kind of antsy. These Guru Bhais aren't so, they're irritating me. This path is hard. I don't have the discipline to keep up. I really want to feel what I felt in the beginning. And we start maybe even withdrawing our energy from the Guru because we have that idea that we are meditating for the results. but nishkam karma. Because if we can stay steadfast and we can meditate deeply every day, whether we feel anything or not, if we can serve the Guru's work, whether we want to or not, whether we feel bliss or not, if we can cling to that thought, then gradually, slowly, we'll get through those dark times. But we need to hold on to the Guru's feet and never doubt that he's with us every moment. Never doubt it. Because that's his role, that's his job. He's not going to quit until we're free. Hold on to the Guru's feet when doubt comes, when anger comes, when all of these past karmas hit in this lifetime. And you know, in a Kriya Yogi's life, they may hit more often because we're doing Kriya Yoga, which is bringing the karmas up the spine and creating situations in our life where we have to work these things out. We have to rid our consciousness of these things. A lot of it is taken from the Guru, but when the lesson is really deep, all of a sudden we have to work this out on this plane. And that's when we think the Guru's gone. Because it's hard. It's hard. But remember that contract. The Guru will never leave you. Through all of it, he is with you. Through the darkness, the hard times, the good times, the joys, the suffering, the pain. All of it, he's with us. And it's during those times when we can't feel the Guru where he's the most present with us. I know you've all heard the story. I love this story about the devotee who would go for a walk on the beach with Christ, who was his Guru. And he felt the Guru right there with him. And he would walk on the beach and he would see the Guru's, Christ's footsteps right next to him on the beach in the sand. And he would go for long walks and commune. And then the disciples started going through a very difficult time. And he didn't feel Christ anymore. He didn't feel his Guru. And so he was walking on the beach. The footsteps were gone. Those footsteps in the sand were gone. Well, he worked through this trouble that he was going through. And he was praying to Christ. And he said, "Where were you? This is when I needed you the most. This is when I was really wanting you with me. And you disappeared. What's the deal?" And Christ said to him, "That's when I was carrying you. There weren't two sets of footsteps. I was holding you. All through the darkness, all through the pain, all through the test, I was holding you." And that's what the Guru does for us. He holds us so close when we need him. We never need to doubt his love for us. Never need to doubt his complete, absolute interest in our salvation. That's why he's here. So even at the end of our lives, so we get all of the gifts in the beginning, and then we go through this confusion. And then at the end, he'll even withdraw more, because he wants you to develop that will and feel, no matter what happens, that you are with the Guru. And he'll withdraw even further. You might see nothing in meditation. Rajarshi Janakananda, who was Yogananda's highest disciple in this lifetime, when he came to the end of his life, all he saw was darkness. And it worried him. But he never stopped meditating. This saint had been in samadhi practically his whole time with Master. And so at the end, Master withdrew that blessing, withdrew that awareness, and he was in darkness, and he would have nightmares, and he would meditate and see nothing, feel nothing, and he felt bereft, and he started getting a little sad. But then one day, he never gave up doing Kriya. He saw a light, and it started getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then there was a spiritual eye. And then he went through the spiritual eye, and then he became free. So the greatest blessing in all three worlds is the blessing of a true Guru. Honestly, we need to cling to the Guru in every aspect of our life. Every aspect. And don't doubt. Don't doubt. Swami Kriyananda said that the worst sin is doubt. Because even when it's hard, who are you going to turn to? The world is not going to solve our problems. Simply won't happen. Only the Guru can solve our problems. I wanted to read this poem. I guess it's a poem, it's a prayer, and you may have heard it. But I thought it was good for today. It's called His Love is Unchanging. And Swamiji used to read this to us every now and then. You may come to Him for a few seconds, then go away and do whatever you will. His love is unchanging. You may deny Him to yourself, and then curse Him to anyone who will listen. His love is unchanging. You may become the most despised of creatures, and then return to Him. His love is unchanging. You may become the enemy of God Himself, and then return to Him. His love is unchanging. Go where you will, do what you will, stay however long you will, and come back to Him. His love is unchanging. Abuse others, abuse yourself, abuse Him. His love is unchanging. He will never criticize you. He will never minimize you. He will never desert you, because to Him you are everything, and He Himself is nothing. He will never deceive you. He will never ridicule you. He will never fail you, because to Him you are God, nature to be served, and He is your servant. No matter what befalls you, no matter what you become, He awaits you always. He knows you. He serves you. He loves you. His love for you in this changing world is unchanging. His love, my beloved, is unchanging. And we're so blessed to have these teachings and have one another. It's very important in this world because delusion is strong and we become alone very quickly. But Divine Mother has sent us a spiritual family and a way to serve the Guru through any means that we can, wherever we find ourselves, in our families, in our work, anywhere, any time of the day. Call on the Guru. Have Him live His life through you, and you will see your life will just open up to the joy of being a true disciple. We had several people who went to Lahiri Mahasaya's Mahasamadhi during Gurupurnima in Benares, and they got to meditate in the Mahasamadhi there, and in Lahiri Mahasaya's room. It's only open one day a year, and they got to go in. What a blessing. And they felt deep blessings. We saw some pictures on the WhatsApp, and I thought it would be nice, although I have not warned them, if they could just say a few words of what was your experience in Benares when you went to see Lahiri Mahasaya's shrines. Do you want to say something? Or Rutvij, you can say, because I kind of warned you last night, so you can have a minute to think.
Hello everyone. Though I am one, I am still not prepared. Okay. It was a couple of months back when I got to know that, okay, it's only that one particular day when Lahiri Mahasaya's house is open. I'm like, wow, I want to go. I didn't know how it would be, and turned out to be that, Nandini ji and Kamla ji were like, okay, we are planning to go, want to join in. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Till the last moment, I did not believe that I'm actually going to go to the house. When we walked into those narrow lanes, is when something hit that, oh, it's those same lanes in which Swami Shri Yukteswara ji, and when Guruji was a small baby, was carried, and all the other saints who are saints had walked through those gullies, and today we are walking through that, and we are going to meet Lahiri Mahasaya. When we walked in, we did not actually feel that, because it was raining, we were kind of getting drenched, and so many people and there is cow that comes, there is vehicle that comes, there is everything that comes, and we are like in that narrow lane, we are waiting, and then we get to go in, and we get to touch the altar in which you are sitting. We are out, and then you get the feel of, oh my God, what have I felt? Because then we were not the same people. When we walked back to our rooms and just sitting or even maybe lying down, we could feel the blessing. And then when we got to go to Lahiri Mahasaya's Samadhi, for me, when I touched the Samadhi, I was like, I can still feel the current when I'm talking to you. It was so blissful. Well, that's my experience. Thank you for that. Yeah.
I must say we are all, whoever made it, it was really a blessing that, because it was all sudden. We saw the mail and I just told Kamala, I want to go, do you want to join? And I never thought I could make it because, you have your own personal commitments at home, your family and your kid, and you're leaving behind everyone. It was a weekday, and so, but I think the blessings of Guru can make anything possible. So, yes, it was a wonderful experience. Varanasi as such, it's definitely a spiritually charged up place, because 3-4 days was tiring day, but yet with so much of walking, so much of, from morning till evening we were out visiting all the places, but I don't think any of us felt the tiredness. We had more energy, and I'm sure if we did that in Bangalore even for half a day, we would have all been exhausted and hit the bed, So, and yet we would sit on up to 2 o'clock in the night and talk about, all our experiences. So that itself showed that, we were all blessed, with great energies there. And coming to the day when we had to go to Lahiri Mahasaya's house, as Rutvij mentioned, it was hard to believe, okay, is it really going to happen that are we really going to enter into his house? And the energies were really good. We could feel it. Of course, it was crowded. The day we were not allowed to sit there or meditate, but yet we all got about 5 to 7 minutes to stand aside in one of the rooms and just, go deep within ourselves. And that's when we all, I think, felt, the energy. And the Samadhi experience was also great. And on the day of the Gurupurnima, we couldn't take pictures even from outside. We wanted to take the board and all that, and the guy was saying no phone, switch off the phone, put the phone inside. And we thought, okay, let's not follow the rules, and if one starts, everybody is going to start it. So, and the last day, just before we left, we wanted to go to Satyalok, which is his great grandson's ashram. But somehow we again landed up in front of Lahiri Mahasaya's house. We didn't know the way. We were lost, and we kept asking, and then people directed us, and in those narrow lanes, and we come here, oh my God, we have just come here, and it looks like Lahiri Mahasaya called us here to take the pictures, which we were craving, We were all feeling so bad that none of us were able to take even a single picture. And to our heart content, I think we all took how many of our pictures we wanted. And then there was a small provision store just in front of his house, and that guy directed us to Satyalok. That is where his ashes are kept, and that was a good place. We were able to sit there and meditate for however long, and it's an ashram, people are living there, so that was our experience. So I think even whatever wishes you have, the Guru makes sure that it's fulfilled, They don't let us go disappointed. So that's what I felt. Thank you.